Hey everybody, I'm Egg.
I'm Rosan.
And this is our Salt and Sanctuary,
Our impressions.
Yeah.
They knew what they did.
Yeah.
And now that we've beaten the game and we've had time to think about it and all that other fun stuff, we thought we'd do what we did with Aliens, which is, we were actually kind of laughing at, is we actually beat Aliens already. And we just now beat this. But funny thing is, this is going to come out before the Aliens one does. So, we're kind of laughing at that a little bit. But we're going to do the same thing. This is it. You can expect to see one of these Aliens playthrough as well. So, this is kind of what we think of it and all that other stuff. So, right off the bat, we're going to talk about satisfaction. Now that the game is complete, how we feel now that the game is complete. Personally, I feel satisfied. This game had the whole, I had a lot of the Dark Souls Metroidvania approach where it gives you that like high difficulty and then you get the satisfaction of completing it. It's like, oh, hallelujah, I did it. I got through this either through skill or sheer luck.
Yep.
And this game definitely brought that in spades, even at times where it was like crazy. But overall, like I feel very satisfied from this game. Like the parts of it that were great were super well, and it just went amazing for me, and I felt super satisfied, even with all the times I've had to like replay it because shit happens in real life. But how about you? I know this game's been giving you definitely like some like heartache.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Even now, it's giving you heartache.
I don't know. It's hard for me to... Part of me is just salty over certain issues that we've had with this game, and it's not necessarily the game's fault. I don't know. A part of me still feels this game might be cursed. But that being said, however, taking away my saltiness, I would actually say probably maybe 80% of the game is like genuinely kind of fun. Because like parts of it it feels like a challenge at times. It feels like, you know, it's doable when it needs to be doable. And, I don't know. Yeah, I would actually say it is quite satisfying when it needs to be.
Yeah. Alright, now, visually, I know you probably want to talk about this one, because you do like this game visually.
Oh, yeah, oh my god. It is, without a doubt, like, one of the coolest looking games I've ever seen in my life, just because of like the way it's done. Hell, even down to like certain other things about it look really amazing. The visuals are great, the art style is great. Sure, like certain PCs are PC, and certain of the non-demonic NPCs are like goofy looking, and that's whatever. Like, I don't think they actually look that bad, to be honest with you. But, god damn, the bosses, holy shit. Like, I don't think there's one single boss that we fought that I think looked like shit. Like, I think they all looked amazing.
Yes, definitely. Like, I love the Nameless God. I thought that was a fantastic fight.
Yeah.
The way that guy looked, I thought that looked great. I thought what's another one that really stood out for me that was like, whoa, this is like... Queen of Smiles, actually.
Yeah, Queen of Smiles was great.
Like, that was a super cool boss. The way she was designed, how, like, her throat was slit or something like that?
I think she had no lower jaw or something.
Yeah, like, that was freaking creepy. It looked fantastic. That stench most foul. That crazy looking thing.
Yep.
That was something that I thought was really cool. Tree of Man, despite how much of a pain in the ass it was a really cool looking thing. And it was,
yeah, absolutely.
Like that, just the idea of that thing, like being all these like freaking amalgamation of cages and shit, I thought was just fantastic. And damn, I'm trying to remember, like, we've zipped through this and we've had times where we play for like a long period and then we're gone for like a week or two. So it's hard to try to keep track of it all. But just the design, even some of the regular mobs, I think look great. Like, this game has a huge drown theme with everything, with a lot of these Kraken bosses, and like a lot of the normal enemies are being drowned, and they all fit it. they look like gray, puffed up corpses.
Absolutely.
And sound-wise, I like how this isn't blown up with music. Like, areas like this is a great example. Like, there's no music, but when you go into boss fight, it does. It keys up. It's a Dark Souls thing. Straight up, it's a Dark Souls thing. But it works.
Oh yeah, like it's, and oh my god, and I mean, I guess since we're on music anyways, yeah, the music, what music there is so cool. Like almost all of the boss battle, like the boss battle theme is like across the board the same theme in every fight, I think. Like, I don't know if the final boss theme was a little different, but I know that that otherwise, yes, it's all the same music. There's like a moment where like this little 8-bit violin kicks in, and it's just like the coolest fucking noise to me. So yeah, I love the sound of this game. Like the sound effects are cool. You definitely feel like there's weight behind your blows, because there's shit like when your attack hits, you hear it just sounds juicy. Fucking slapping into somebody with a fucking sword and
shit.
The
rolling, if you like wear heavy armor, you
yeah.
actually hear the whole clunk. Like, you know, like you're moving some massive weight with your character.
Oh yeah. So definitely no complaints there for the sound. Fantastic sound.
Yeah. And next topic, actually, we're gonna talk about is gameplay. Now, I think this gameplay is great. I think the controls are very tight. I love the way they use the brands, because you would see like hints of what the brand usage throughout the entire game. Even here in the beginning, you'll find inverted brands in the very first area with the Sodden Knight, and it does nothing but invoke. Oh, what does this do? What am I gonna be doing with this later? And you have no idea. Like with a lot of games, like Aliens, you'll see like, oh, you need an ion torch upgrade. Like, they flat out tell you. There's like no surprise. There's no figuring it out. But mind you, with that game, it's pretty easily what your upgrade is going to end up doing. But with this one, like, you'll see like clouds. You don't know what the hell they're for. They could be for anything. You see those pillars. You don't know what they're for. The red walls. You figure you're going to need a key, but you have no idea how that key is going to come into play. Shadow Flip, like, I never would have imagined there was a double jump, or even the dash itself. That freaking completely changed the game, not only for, like, finding new areas, but for actual fighting. Like, that became a dodge after a while.
Yeah.
Like, on bosses where they were, like, you needed to tread a lot of ground, that double dash, like, did freaking miracles.
Oh, yeah. Double dash is fucking amazing.
I just thought, like, they found a way to, like, take some of the platforming elements from the brand and work them into boss fights. Like, the double jump and...
God. The fact that you could dash jump into a wall jump, I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah. To get that extra height for exploration.
Yeah. Like,
it worked.
Fucking dog, you did it wrong. But yeah, shit like that was awesome. Like...
Yep. Story-wise, what we obviously haven't been able gone lore hunting at all. Like, we've just been having trouble just finishing the game, let alone being able to sink into every single flavor text on that ridiculously large skill tree, and then all the flavor text for all the items on top of it. So we haven't seen all that, but what I have seen, I mean, I'm happy with. Like, the fact that the Nameless King is pretty much there, and not Nameless King, Nameless God, is pretty much there from the entire game as the form of that little puppet, I think is just a great touch, because you have no idea what it is. Like, my first instinct, honestly, I thought, I was like, oh great, this is how they introduced like the evil Covenant NPC, and I couldn't have been wrong, any more wrong. Like, I thought one thing, and I was like, nope, that's not at all what this is. That's actually the final boss, and it's like weird, basic beginner form and shit like that.
Yeah, like, it's pretty much just his way of communicating, I guess you could say, with, like, the rest of the world.
Honestly, it kind of just seemed like his way of, like, just establishing, like, I am your king, type of deal. Oh, speak of the devil.
Yeah, speak of the devil. And speak of the devil quite literally.
And honestly, I like what happens when you talk to him. Like, if you talk to him real quick, oh no, it doesn't do it.
Oh,
yeah, there it is. How the entire background shakes. Like, they do your whole, like, their best to like there's something, a presence or something, a weight going down. It seems like, and I think that's great because there's no voice acting in this game.
No,
just
not
through
at all.
the visuals of looking at what was going around the actual character, kind of added on that weight that there's like something going on.
Oh yeah, for a game that's like, not fucking whatchamacallit, not narrated, or I'm sorry, not voice acted. Yeah, it does a fantastic job of keeping you within the story and keeping you like.
Now we just gotta get you to do like the voices for the next game.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, how about the fact that it's kind of a Dark Souls clone? How do you feel about
It
that?
is straight up Dark Souls Metroidvania clone. There's no ifs, there's no buts. The flat out more than a few of these bosses are straight up references to Dark Souls. One of them is almost identical to them. The one that was like Nito, like big black trench coat, tons of skeletons,
Yeah.
even the sword, even some of his attacks, where he plunges the sword down and a bunch of mini swords will shoot up, is a straight up attack, straight up taken from the original Dark Souls. I'm kind of upset. Like, I don't mind paying homage to a game, but flat out redoing what a game already does is more annoying than anything to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm cool, oh yeah, you want to take a lot of Dark Souls, and they did. Like, they would choose to take gameplay, sure, but the fact that was pretty much like a straight up rip from the boss. And the Kraken Dragon, which was pretty much like Seath the Scaleless.
Yeah.
You actually picked that up really quick. Like, I didn't see it at first until you actually pointed it out to me.
I mean, I never fought Seath, so you had to tell me if you feel like his attacks were very Seath-like.
Not necessarily, but his image was, after you brought that up. Because Seath himself doesn't have normal legs like a dragon. He has all these kind of tentacle things that move around, and then he floats above it. So they pretty much took Seath, gave him a staff, and changed the way he looked a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, I forgot she's a bitch.
Oh yeah, she is.
But yeah.
So there was that. Then there was that optional boss who was pretty much like a moonlit butterfly.
Oh yeah. God
Like-
damn, he was exactly doing the butterfly.
Now, mind you, that thing wasn't in Dark Souls. It was nothing like that, the moonlit butterfly. But the reference is still huge, spick and span. A giant butterfly creature soaked in moonlight on the very top somewhere. So, I mean, I would have rather, seen them come outside the box more, especially when they have, other designs the Tree of Men, which loved the way it looked, hated the way it played.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The Queen of Smiles right here, another one. I thought that was a really cool looking boss itself. The Stench, Most Foul, that was a good one. Even Sodom, I'll say this, a good bit of these fights are really fun, but those ones that are straight up a copy from Dark Souls are kind of eh. Even the nameless god at the end, now that I think of it, is kind of like a Lord Gwen type of deal too from Dark Souls, if you think about it.
Yeah, because then Lord Gwyn just fights you straight up sword to sword.
Yeah, just about. He did have magic, but he didn't really do a ton of it. The main difference between Lord Gwen and this thing was you can parry the shit out of Gwen. So
Isn't that how most people dealt with him too?
that's how I dealt with him.
Yeah. So I mean, and I mean, you know what?
There's paying homage, and then there's copying and not coming up with something on your own.
I will say, being a copy of the Dark Souls, especially especially for Salt and Sanctuary, it's kind of one of those moments where damned if you do, damned if you don't, because yes, it's cool. I love the idea of 8-bit platforming Dark Souls. That's awesome, and this game is awesome at that. I dislike the fact that it is 8-bit Dark Souls platforming, however. So it's a weird dichotomy there, because this is the kind of game where I wish they would have given it a more standard story narrative, not a Dark Souls narrative. Not vagary and like what the fuck is going on,
Yeah.
and you have to really read into shit to figure it out. Like I would have loved if this game just kind of like handed it to me on a golden platter, because this game is fucking neat looking, you know? There's so many neat visuals that keep me entranced in the game that make me completely forget that I essentially spend the entire game going down. You know?
Yeah. Actually, this game would have probably been great to have a good narrative just because of how vast and different all the areas are. Especially with how they end up playing with the story where you find out, like, there's a god that literally brought all this fallen empires and stuff here.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be is, like, every new area where you go to a new empire or something like that, you learn something new about that empire. Or you learn the story of, like, the ziggurat. Remember the king, the dead king or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be cool if you got to the ziggurat and then you learn about the dead king, then you eventually confront him?
Yeah.
Like, that could have been like a really cool way of dealing with that, than rather just being like, oh, we heard about these ziggurats somewhere from like one of the NPCs. So I think that could have been something. But now to go on like a big negative, that some of the stuff just felt like cheap, and what were you doing? Like that fucking tree and men. Like I said, I loved the way it looked visually, but my god, that fight, no matter how many times I did it, just drove me freaking crazy. Like, it just had one too many things in trying to make you balance. Like,
Yeah,
I could get over, like, it's kind of funny too, as much as it drives me crazy. Like, I could get over the flamethrowers. I could even get over the flamethrowers plus the falling things, the platforms, and having to learn to balance jumping back and forth and dealing with that. But you give me all that, and then you give me a place where you can fall to your death, and then whenever he stomps too hard, it knocks you completely off the stage no matter what. Like, unless you're really lucky and you happen to hit that platform before you hit the ground, you're gone.
yeah, it's...
And that was absolutely infuriating. Because we spent more deaths from... Not necessarily... Well, honestly, from falling.
Yeah.
Gravity was, like, our biggest freaking nightmare.
Yeah, and it stopped being fun after
It did, and
real fucking quick.
We didn't spend up a lot of time there. We were using, like, the Phoenix Shield that was, like, negating the fire damage, and just all the shit like that. And what was another one that was fucking, like, driving us?
The Hangman.
Oh my god. That, by far, was I want to say it's the most broken mob, but there's another one that's really fighting for its spot, too. But the fact that there's a mob that constantly, especially because they're never like just a one. There's always like at least one or two.
Talking about like the xenomorph looking things?
No, those aren't bad. I'm still talking about the hang guy. But with the hang guy, how what's that? How like when one gets done picking you up, you're immediately picked up by a different one, and it's a constant cycle of getting your neck broke.
Yeah,
repeatedly, over and over. And even make it worse, it's not like after they do that hanging, you get dropped near them where you have a chance to counterattack.
Yeah.
There's times where you're like across the stage. And if there's multiple of them, they're dragging you back and forth in multiple areas and you're not getting near them.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but there is...
That was ridiculous.
That when a mob is so annoying that it literally breaks the gameplay, because that is what it did, then that's fucking bullshit. Like when you have a mob who just fucking reacts the way that mob did over and over and over again, and you can't move because literally how the camera in this game works, then your mob is fucking broken. Okay? I can't think... Was there any mob in Dark Souls that was like that? Honestly? That affected you in such a way that, like, your camera was fucked up and it was just a whim of the gods at that point whether or not you did any good?
I'm trying to think, because I'll admit, the original Dark Souls had, like, a bunch of shit that was pretty fucked up. Yeah.
fucked up, but like nothing that I can think of that even comes close to this fucking hangman.
Honestly,
shit.
I would probably say one of the boss fights, the Bed of Chaos,
Bed of Chaos. Okay.
which is like the most broken boss fight period. But that one, like, it's been a while since I've like played Dark Souls 1 again, so if I had a better refresher, but I will say this, that was no polished gem Dark Souls 1. Fuck no. The other one's 3 is a freaking gorgeous masterpiece. But 1, no, not so much.
Yeah, new.
What's another thing that was driving me nuts, like mob-wise? We had the hanging guys. Oh, towards the end, we didn't have to deal with them too much because I had dealt with them off camera more, so I was wanting to rush by them because I already knew what I was in for. But those freaking weird ass unicorn things, like just that little bit you got to see. You see the way they were like literally just like charge you and destroy your health.
Yeah. And there was literally just 2 of them in the entire game, right?
I want to say there's like 3 or 4 in that little area there, but they destroyed you. Like, just that little bit, man, and they did colossal damage. That's why I never wanted to go back and fight those things again. Like, they were trouble. In every sense of the word. So, I don't know what the deal was with them or... Oh, I'm gonna throw this out there. Salt Bat seemed cool at first. After a while, that shit was fucking retarded.
Oh yeah, that was
like the
dumb.
fact that I would have an extra mob in a boss fight that would do poison damage.
Yeah, and the fact that like I really didn't like the idea of like bosses getting stronger when they had your salt.
I don't think they got stronger. I know mobs did.
Mobs anything in general, I think is just I'm like really like this game isn't fucking irritating enough without having to add that fucking mechanic into it. Shit. Like really, like this game is plenty annoying as is, people.
Like I understand why they did that one though, because you know another real popular game that did that, Shadow Mordor.
Did it really?
Yep.
I played Shadow Mordor, but not that much.
Yeah. If one of the orcs killed you, they would get promoted and they would actually get stronger.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I just think here it's like the thing that sucks. I think what made it worse here, or made it feel worse, the way it was used here, is normally the mobs that killed you were already insanely strong.
Oh yeah.
Like there was mobs like actually a great example. The butterfly when we were trying to get up to her. Remember that big guy that padded back and forth? And we actually ended up taking a whole detour around him just to skip him so we wouldn't get him mad at us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember what happened when we died to him? We could not kill him. He was harder than the actual bosses.
Yeah, shit like that, you're just like, really? Like, is this honestly necessary?
Let's see.
I mean, you know what? I will say, one positive, at least as far as, like, neat things go, 2-player co-op. Once we figured that out, holy shit.
Yeah, that added whole like new life to this game for both of us.
Yeah, like honest to God, that was my one gripe with Dark Souls was that you couldn't really 2-player it very well. And this game at least saw that opportunity and was like, hey, we can do some really cool shit with 2-player. And it wasn't shitty 2-player like, oh, only summon him in for X amount of time, or he can only participate.
And stay as long.
Yeah, but it was literally you can bring him in, and they can stay as long. They can stay through the entire fucking game.
Yep.
So I love that shit. I thought that was awesome.
What's another good thing? Actually, the platforming.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, honestly, most of it I like, but there are times, man, I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, those blue disappearing things, like trying to get to the Nito boss.
Okay. Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
That's a good example of why the Salt Bat is a piece of shit.
It's kind of funny how things we're kind of griping about are showing up, like, whenever we play, right?
I'm telling you, man.
But
yeah, okay, so things like the smoke, the torch use...
I thought that was cool.
The side jumps plus a wall jump, inverted traveling, all of that shit was really, really cool. And I'm so glad, and you could only have done that in a game like a platformer like this.
Yep.
So that kind of stuff worked well for me. Loved it. How'd you feel about the difficulty spikes?
Retarded.
Okay, so that's keeping in mind, though, that we did gimp ourselves in the beginning.
We did, but here's my main thought process on that. Towards the beginning, when we were still doing single player, what was the mob? We fought one boss. And
Sodden?
No, it wasn't Sodden. I don't even think it was the Queen. I can't remember, but remember immediately afterward, I went on a boss killing spree. I ended up killing the Kraken Cyclops. I ended up killing the Jester. I ended up killing the Inquisitor.
No, it was right after the Queen.
It was after the
Because
Queen?
it was right after the Queen was the apothecary guy.
That's
the
who
alchemist.
I killed. That's who I killed.
You killed him in like 3 shots, I think, is all it took you.
So
And then from that point on.
we had that huge spike with the Queen, where it was where honestly I do think it was our fault because we weren't doing things right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then afterward, we swept through bosses. Like,
Yeah.
not even like multiple attempts. Some of them first tries. Like the Cyclops was a first try. The Jester was a first try. The Alchemist was like, what I end up doing? Like changing my armor?
I don't think you ended up changing anything with any of those bosses.
No, not them. No, the Cyclops and Jester were just one-shots. And even the Inquisitor was a one-shot. Like, that's what I mean, though. Like, how the game went from, like, being unbearable hard, and then when I get past that hard boss, it was like, it dropped. And it was like, whoa, what is going on here? And it kind of seems crazy. That I didn't like it. Like, it did not feel like a smooth transition at all to me. It just felt like, oh, we're not doing bad, and then boom, huge spike. Now, some of it, like, definitely said was our fault. Like, the stench most foul. We were wearing horrible armor for that fight. It had no poison resist. We ended up shooting ourselves straight in the foot.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then we got, like, then on the flip side, we ended up getting to the spots where we just started decimating. Like, I don't think it was always, like, us. Like, if it is, maybe I'm just really bad and I'm terrible at noticing things, or maybe we got lucky and the armor we ended up switching to happened to be great for all those bosses, or we just happened to be lucky, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel like luck, because we had too many times where it was like, oh, if you go down, there's a little sanctuary. You can just jump on the side up top there. But, it just felt like a spike. Like,
Yeah,
it'd be one thing if it was, like, a smooth thing, but it never felt smooth. It just felt like a spike, and it kind of drove me crazy.
Yeah, there were moments that were genuinely, you were like, yeah, we gimped ourselves, but at the same time, yeah, there were those moments
There
where...
was too many moments where it just went too smooth. Like, did we gimp our smells or not? I couldn't tell at times.
Yeah, honestly. So there were some weird difficulty spikes. Because everything from... Honestly, and oh my god, honestly, the Tree of Man and then the pirate fight, and even those 2 levels that we were in, all that shit sucked. Hated it. But yeah, so I mean, that was kind of my opinion of the, of some of that nonsense. How do you feel about it?
I mean, that's about it. I mean, I think the spikes are real. I don't think it was just us. Because if it was, we wouldn't have been able to tear through as well as we did. Those one mobs, you know what I mean? Yeah. Ooh, damn, that's not a good sign.
Fucking sludge.
But, I guess now we're kind of towards the end.
But yeah,
I would definitely recommend this game.
recommend full price.
It's
Whatever
only
the
$17.
Oh, hell yeah, full price. This game's worth it. If you are a Dark Souls fan, you will love this fucking game.
Honestly, I don't even think you have to be a Dark Souls fan. I think if you're like a Metroid fan or a Castlevania, especially a Castlevania fan.
Okay, yeah. If you're any of those 3, you will. If you like platformers, you will enjoy this game. Even if you don't like Dark Souls, if you like platformers, yeah, you will enjoy this game. At $17, it's definitely worth it.
I mean, if you get this shit on a Steam sale cheaper, it's a steal.
Yeah.
Honestly, you should feel bad.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly.
Like.
That being said, would you like to see a sequel?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, me too.
I hope they like learn, and I hope they just pay homage to Dark Souls rather than straight up taking stuff from it.
Yeah.
Like with the bosses that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah. So guys, with that being said, this is for now the end of the Iron Chef story.
Yep.
So we will see you guys in the next series. And until then, I'm Egg.
And I'm Rosa.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.